Well, good evening, folks. It's the real Captain Kirk here. It's the 28th of November, 2021. Again, live from One Bethlehem Plaza here in downtown Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, affectionately referred to as Christmas City, USA. I actually got that name on Christmas Eve in 1741, so 280 years ago, named the town. Looking at last week's summary now, this big map is trends versus last year on the National Retail Federation calendar. Here in the U.S., cold, 3.5 degrees colder than last year, coldest in 3 years, 17th coldest in 36 years, below average nationally. Again, cold east, warmer west. 60% drier than last year, driest in 4th, 5th driest in 36 years, so much below average rainfall. And while snowfall was up 19% over a year ago, still 10th least in 36 years, so below average there. So a cold, dry week, good for seasonal merchandise sales, store traffic, retail sales, especially in the eastern half of the country. Up in Canada, a little bit cooler. UK, coldest in 5 years. Europe, coldest in 3, so good for seasonal merchandise sales there. Australia takes the cold spot. They're coldest in 22 years for their spring season and wettest in 20. A little bit cooler down under in Brazil. Looking at the precip and temperature trend maps, inset left are versus average. Looking at snowfall, we actually had our first half-inch of snowfall here in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. So first accumulating snow event. Had the kids certainly happy that snow is finally here. Not much. Again, some downwind Great Lake effect type snow here this week. Again, but not much on a national scale. If we look at the 6-day aggregate here, about 10% less than last year, 58% below average, least in 4. 8th least in 36 years. So wintry around the Great Lakes, but again, not epic on any level here. Again, you can see these trends here. Again, least snow in 4 years nationally on a national index basis. Looking at this week here, getting into early December, hard to believe. Still cold in the northeast, but again, that warm weather in the central U.S. is expanding as we go through the week. 7 degrees warmer than last year, warmest in 4 years, 4th warmest in 36 years, so much above average national temperatures. 75% drier than last year, 2nd driest in 36 years, so virtually no rain, not much out there at all. 53% less snowfall than last year, 2nd least in 36 years, so much below there. So kind of a mild, dry week, good for store traffic and Christmas shopping, but not really great for cold seasonal merchandise sales here as we look at this week overall. November's almost in the history books here. We're about 2.5 degrees colder than last year, but still above average nationally, but it was below average east and much above average west. Number 1 driest in 36 years, so hard to believe, but it was very dry on a national scale for the month, and least snow in 11 years, so much below average there as well. Bar chart here shows the trends versus last year, so very, very cold start to November and a cooler end. Again, so favorable for seasonal cold merchandise gear and shopping for the holiday shopping season. Couple of weeks of warm weather, but we'll look here in a minute again. Cold weather up in Siberia is moving toward Alaska and northwest Canada. So again, we think that typically takes 2-3 weeks to get here. So probably the latter half of December looks to be quite a bit colder. So again, a mild trend here for the next couple weeks overall for the nation as a whole. South winds blowing here next week, early December here. 2.3 warmer than last year, warmest in 6 years, 6th warmest in 36 years, so above average temperatures. Bit wetter, 145% wetter than last year, 15th wettest in 36 years, so above average. A little snowy than last year in the northwest, Great Lakes. Again, we'll see about the Great Lakes. Might be a little bit too warm, might be for snow there, but below average snowfall nationally. And if we look at the 2-week aggregate trends here on the world scale, again, you can see that cold weather northeast Siberia has moved into Alaska and northwest Canada. So typically when it gets up there, it takes a couple weeks and it'll be down here in the central U.S. So we'll see. Maybe again, go from record warm here in the Central Plains to pretty cold here for the latter part of December. Total precip map is inset left. So with the warmer, drier trends, I know a lot of snow lovers are a little depressed here, so we'll end with maybe some holiday music here and to get you in the spirit of the Christmas holiday season here. So with that, folks, you have a great week, and we will be back here again this time next week.